Anyone traveling south on Piedmont Avenue would have a hard time missing it. Just another billboard advertising what would appear to be a legitimate dating service. But if you call that number up there, you quickly discover that's not the case. What you do get is a voice on the other end of the line promising you a world of sexual adventure. All you have to do, she says, is send $14.99 to one of 2 post office boxes in Memphis, Tennessee. So we sent in our money, and about a week later, we were introduced to the easy life. We received a packet of sexually explicit literature with photographs of semi-nude women. Most of the stuff was a simple come on to subscribe to a variety of other sexual services, including a 24-hour-a-day phone line.
Hi, this is Easy. I would like you to join my private phone club for $18.99 so you can call me or one of my girlfriends, and we'll talk about all kinds of erotic loving.
We were also given a list of about 100 names and phone numbers of men, women, and couples from all over Georgia supposedly interested in sharing sex. Our next step was to go to Memphis to see for ourselves where all of this was coming from. We traced the post office box to a corporation called SHL Enterprises. We also found connections between SHL and a number of other outfits, including Easy Swingers Club, Easy Swing Magazine, the Swingers Hotline, and for some reason something called the Mexican Cattle Breeders Association. Further checking revealed that all of these enterprises are owned by 2 brothers, Ralph and Ernie Lunati. As it turns out, the Lunati brothers are well known in Memphis. They are especially well known to Memphis police. Both Lunatis have arrest records dating back to the mid-1960s, and Ralph has spent time in prison. But neither one really came to the attention of Memphis police until about 3 years ago, when they started their sex telephone business, then called the Swingers Hotline.
We were inundated by complaints about the hotline because we found that was a real going item in the high schools to get that number and pass it around. Had numerous complaints, and we pursued that for several months, never had any particular success. The telephone company pursued it to include removing their telephone service.
Since the Swingers Hotline was going so well, and since the police seemed powerless to stop it, the Lunati brothers decided to expand their ever-growing business. So early this year, they bought this small brick house on Summer Avenue in Memphis and opened up what they called the Swingers Club.
It was just a house that they had bought, moved all the furniture out and put in mattresses and couches and whatever. It consisted of pornographic movies in one room and then various sexual activity pretty much all over the house.
Finally, last February, police moved in and raided the club. 30 people, including a Tennessee state trooper and several other prominent citizens, were hauled off to jail. That case is still pending. But in the end, the Lunatis did agree to close down the Swingers Club for good. So now that the heat is on in Memphis, the Lunati brothers seem to be turning more of their attention to expanding their mail-order business into other states, including Georgia. Using the addresses provided to us by Tennessee authorities, we went in search of the Swingers Hotline. Police tell us the telephone service is so successful it employs up to 50 women working in 3 shifts every day. The center of the operation, they say, is in this small brick house behind a used car lot owned by the Lunatis. When we got there, the shades were drawn and there was no response. Hello? Anybody home? Then we ran into Ernie Lunati himself, who did not seem very pleased to see us.
What do you want with them? Are you an official or something?
Well, no, actually, I'm with WSB Television from Georgia, Atlanta. We've had a number of complaints about the Lunati brothers and the business that they are trying to expand into Atlanta, and I'd like to talk to them about that.
Well, I don't see that though you could help their business.
Well, I'm not out to help their business. I'd like to know a little bit more about their business because there are a lot of people in Georgia that would like to know a little bit more about their business. Needless to say, our conversation was a short one.
I don't feel as though I should be questioned by you.
Well, that's up to you, but certainly it's my right to ask questions. You can say yes or no.
No, not on this property.
Huh?
Not on this property. I don't want you on the property.
So you're asking us to leave?
Yeah.
Once back in Atlanta, we started checking the list of so-called swingers provided to us by the Lunatis. Some of the people we contacted said they knew exactly what they were getting into and enjoy it. Ann and Steve of Decatur, for example, even have a separate phone in their bedroom to receive calls from other swingers so their child won't answer by mistake. But we also found people who got a lot more than they bargained for. This South Atlanta housewife thought she was contacting a legitimate dating service to meet, in her words, a nice gentleman who likes tennis and playing canasta. She didn't send any money, but she did give the operator in Memphis her phone number, and soon afterward the calls began, anywhere from 15 to 20 times a day.
They was saying things and wanted me to meet them, and they're saying all kinds of obscene things. And then I asked them how did they get my number. They said, well, I have a list and your name is on it.
What did you think about that?
I was frightened.
When this lady wasn't home, the callers tried to proposition her 2 teenage daughters. The family was so frightened and embarrassed that whoever was home stopped answering the phone. They finally had to have their number changed to a private listing at their own expense, but now at least they can laugh about the experience.
Naturally, I thought if you didn't send the money, you didn't get no service. Who gets free, for anything free? So it was not, though.
But you did.
Mm-hmm. I got free service. Free service. For once in my life.
You got your name on the list.
Yes, free. Oh.